One of the best feelings in the world is getting a compliment on something that you're wearing and then being able to tell that person that you made it yourself. It's even better when that person responds that they would have never been able to guess because it doesn't look like a homemade item. I had 2 interactions like this when I wore these patchwork shorts on a day out recently, and I'm hoping it'll happen again with the new patchwork shorts that I just made. A big part of avoiding that homemade look and feel to DIY projects is by having clean seams that don't fray and fall apart. The easiest way to achieve this clean look is by serging your seams, but I, like many others, don't have a serger. I've seen other tutorials that say you can use zigzag stitches in place of a serger, but I've never had this work well or look clean. So today, I'm going to show you 3 patchwork techniques that I used on these shorts that not only add a stylistic flair, but also keep all of your seams nice and tidy while only using a straight stitch. So let's get started with that first technique. The first technique I used was inspired by these hysteric glamour Hagi jeans I used to have. Hagi is the shortened form of Sugi Hagi, which roughly translates to patchwork or patchworking in Japanese. Apparently, it's also the name of a character from Chainsaw Man who is literally patchworked together. It's essentially just using continuous flat-felled seams in your patchwork to maintain a clean finish on both the inside and outside. A similar method is often used on jeans since lap seams are good for increasing durability. Obviously, first you need to have your fabric scraps. As you can see, I marked a 1/2 inch on the right side of one of the panels. Take the other panel and with right sides together, match the edge with the chalk line. Fold the bottom over the top, iron it down, and pin it. Next, we have to sew down this line as close to the edge as possible. You can backstitch, but it's not necessary since we're going to be sewing more later. Once it's sewn, we need to push the seam to the side and iron it so that it covers up the raw edge. Now from the top side, we're going to do 2 lines of stitching. The first will be very close to the seam line, and the second will be a little over a 1/4 inch away to catch the folded seam underneath. Here's what it looks like. The fabric I use kind of hides the stitching on the right side, but you can get a better picture of how it looks on the back side. It would probably look even better with a proper top stitch thread. But as you can see, both sides are nice and clean. Here's what it looks like on the shorts I made too. I used this technique here to mimic a log cabin look. That's how the light gets in. Now the second technique is just a slight variation of the first. Jogakbo is a sewing technique from Korea used to make bojagi, which are traditional domestic wrapping cloths made from scraps, but have evolved into tapestries, fashion, and other textile uses. It uses the same flat-felled sewing method, but in multiple directions for a more visually intriguing look. It also favors sheer fabrics, where the dark overlapping in the seams creates an intricate pattern of their own when the light shines through. To make a bojagi-inspired project, follow the same steps as before, but instead of just continuing to do parallel horizontal seams, change up the direction as I'm doing. In this example, you can also get a better view of the top stitch on a fabric that doesn't drown out the threads. You can keep repeating these steps to create an entire patchwork textile with the Jogakbo technique. I didn't actually use this method on the shorts, but I'm 100% going to use it on an upcoming project. Maybe a sheer button-up for the summer. Now it's time for my favorite method. I'm not sure if this third technique has a name other than just an inverse or wrong side bias tape finish. I saw it being used on Pinterest, loved how it looked, and figured out how to copy the style. It boils down to taking bias tape, which normally goes inside garments or around edges, and using it on the outside as an element of both style and construction. I always love clothes that use avant-garde techniques like this and reveal some of the construction details on clothes that are usually hidden. It reminds me a bit of Margiela or Kawakubo in that way. For this method, we not only need our panels, but bias tape as well. You can purchase pre-made bias tape or just make your own, which is what I usually do. I'll leave a tutorial in the description if you aren't sure how to make your own bias tape. It's very easy. The only thing to keep in mind is matching the width of your bias tape to the width of your seams. As you can see, I already did one seam of this so you can see how it looks. The main thing to remember is that you have to sew your panels wrong sides facing instead of the usual right sides together. Once you've done that, measure shear out the bias tape and wrap it around the seam. Sew it close to the edge, iron it to lay the direction you want, and then repeat as many times as you wish. Here it is used on my shorts. I honestly love how this looks so much, and I can't wait to keep using this technique in more projects. Leaving the bias tape open with the different types of fabric adds so much depth to a single garment. So those were the patchwork methods I used to make my neighbor's patchwork shorts. If you want to see more pictures of them or any of my other projects, make sure to follow my Instagram, which I'll link below. Hopefully this video inspires your next project or helps you with the one you're currently working on. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask away in the comments. And if there's anything else you want tutorials on, let me know and I'll see if I can make that happen. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon in another video.